Hello and welcome to today's live feed for November 14th, the day after Friday the 13th,
Oh, yeah.
2020. So if you're watching this later on, this will be old news. But if you're watching it now, it'll be fresh news. So before I get into what the big news is, I kind of wanted to just say hello to everybody out there. We're doing okay at our end. We've been keeping busy, staying active, staying healthy overall. And yeah, it's been crazy adventures for me the last couple days. What you've been busy too, though.
Yeah, I'm always busy.
Yeah, but Melissa was particularly busy the last night and then again this morning, and I'll tell you why. So this is I'll start off, I guess, and I'll tell you what the exciting news for us is, and then we'll get into just a regular live feed and chat about other stuff.
You guys, it said big news, and I had to really think. I'm like, big news?
Well, it's big news for us.
It is big news. It's because it became, I mean, it's only been since yesterday, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm already used to the idea.
Okay, so as you guys know, we moved from our old store location to our new store location about a year ago. And we put the building on the market, and then within a short time, coronavirus hit. And our business got shut down, and it made the realty market here not so great, as I'm sure it has affected many other areas too. But so in the past little while, we were trying to list it for sale. We hadn't listed for sale. We weren't getting any bites on it. And then I decided that I would list the old space for rent. I thought, may as well get a renter. And since I posted it for rent, I've had just like a barrage, a ton, a plethora, one might say, of people who are interested in renting that space. In the last week alone, I showed it to a pastor who wanted to use it for a small church. I showed it to somebody who wanted to make it into a daycare, and boy, what else? Retail spot, and showed it to a family who was interested in using it as a hair salon. And in the complex where that building is, are plenty of nail salons, hair salons, health services, lawyers' offices, restaurants. I don't know. It's a whole little community there of stuff. But a hair salon in that area actually makes a whole lot of sense. So we had a lovely lady come in with her younger sister, and they came to look at the space the other day. And they are super excited and want to sign a lease with us to rent out our old location. So the big news is, it looks like we'll have renters in that space, and we're going to sign a 3-year lease with them. So we're not planning on making money off it, but we're certainly going to be getting some money back out of it. And
At least it's not just sitting there wasting away, just an empty space. And that's just a bill for us. That's really for nothing. So now at least it's going for a purpose, and an amazing purpose.
Yeah, they're super nice.
But they're so passionate about it. It's those people that, you know, when you're so passionate about something that you kind of get pulled in. I'm legit, seriously excited for them because of how excited they are.
Yeah, they seem like lovely people. And so tomorrow I am going over with a lease. We're going to sign it up and then get them keys for Monday. And that building will not be an issue for us as a payment to make any longer. And they can live their dreams. So for us, it works out well. The building gets used, which is what we hope it will happen. And they get to live their dream by opening up their hair salon for their community. So it's really, really great. So that was really cool news and really big news.
It's not really making money for us, but it is somebody else paying that bill for us.
Oh, was somebody asking about it on the... Okay. Yeah, I was just mentioning that too. That, you know, part of it is that in this economy, and I think the reason why we got the building rented out fairly quickly is that we priced it very fairly. We priced it basically break even for us, not trying to make any money off of it. So it just covers our expenses. I think a lot of other places that are out for rent right now, they're seeing that there's a lot of spaces coming out for lease, but they haven't quite come down to reality yet in terms of pricing it fairly. So their prices are probably like double what we are. But hey, we're going to have tenants for a few years, and that means our mortgage payments are covered. So yay! And then I need the pointy little hat and the streamers. Where's the balloons? Aren't we supposed to hit some balloons and they come falling out of the sky?
Yeah. and our dog would be going insane.
Yeah. Oh, somebody said tell them about your necklace.
Once upon a time, we went to Maui.
Yeah, but that you got that has a YouTube connection.
So there was a I don't remember what her last name is. She used to be under Pink So Foxy, but her name's Christine or Christina. And anyways, I saw her on YouTube. We were in Maui at one of those swap meets, and her husband were there.
Oh, thank you, Funky Aardvark. Thank you.
And I ended up buying it off of her and her husband. So it was funny because she's very outgoing on YouTube, and then she was very kind of to herself in real life, and I thought it was really interesting.
Melissa was a little starstruck. She's like, I know you from YouTube, and I watch all your shows, and I think you're amazing. And the girl's like, okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it was cute to watch.
But I'm also very much one of those people that assumes that I know everybody's already a friend before they are, and I think that can be very annoying for some people.
They get used to it.
Yeah, they get used to it. So in my brain, we're already best friends, and she didn't even know who I was. Just crazy. That summed it up.
Yeah.
Actually, my aunt, I don't know if Auntie Veronica's watching, she bought it for me. She got one as well. It had a different dragonfly on hers, but she bought it for me.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I see everybody going, Josh.
Yeah, I see Josh is on, Matthew's on. So there is quite a few of our friends on there. Zenobia and Hans are on as well. So all of our usual suspects are on here too. So
all of our YouTube friends, all of you.
Yeah, and and we'll have to get in touch with Hans again. I haven't talked to him in a while.
He's on here right now in Zenobia.
Yeah, well, guys, you'll have to email me. Hans and Zenobia have to email me so I can reach out to you again. I had a busy day today. I was digging around in people's basements last night and then again this morning. Neither one were super comfortable with being on camera, so I couldn't do the walking around sort of portion that I normally do if I'm in someone's house when they're cool about it. But I did do the portion showing what I got, and I got some really neat stuff. As a sampler, I have some. This is kind of ridiculous. I have something sitting on my table right now, and Melissa thinks I'm just nuts for having it sitting here. But I wanted to do a show and tell with you guys.
Oh, I didn't even notice it was sitting here.
There will be a new video, like an actual sort of produced little video coming out tonight or tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see if it's done uploading by the time we're ready to get the live feed done here. It's processing right now. But okay. Do you guys know what this is?
I do.
Anybody know what that is?
Telescope.
I'll give extra points if you can name it by name.
Charles.
This is, take a good look at it. I know what it is. Didn't really know what it, well, I knew what it was, but I didn't know what its name was. No, nitrous diecast. No, incorrect. It is not a pot pipe. It's not a didgeridoo.
Matthew said bow cannon.
Close. Matthew knows everything. Don't let that mohawk fool you, folks. Matthew knows a lot of stuff. He's a well-educated feller. Bronze wacky thing, baseball bat. I'll give you a telescope.
Wooden leg.
You wouldn't want to look in this end.
No.
Okay. It's called a lantaka. It's a lantaka. What this is this is I'm not going to point at my wife either. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
This is the world's first handheld gun, essentially. It's a hand cannon. You would call it a hand cannon. And the idea was these go back to the 13th century or so. This is not as old. This is probably from the 1800s. But this lantaka would have been used, 1288 is the first time they really talked about using it. Spaniards had them, and then in China they also used them. In fact, there's a story about a village being attacked by people that had them. Vlad the Impaler, this was one of his favorite weapons to use, if you can believe that. This is more of an Asian style. This having a small handle here and a rest where you could actually set it on the ground like that. This might not be original to the piece. A lot of times they actually were handheld. It was a two-person job. One person would hold it, and another person would come along and light it, and then bam. And they had them on ships as well. But this could have actually been used in combat. So the idea is it's bronze. It has a barrel. You would put the gunpowder in and then pack your ball in. and you would just take like a hot ember or a piece of burning wood or something, and you would touch it on there and it would just fire right off. So really kind of cool thing to find in somebody's basement. You know, it was actually sitting on their fireplace mantle, and I'm like, what is that? And they're like, I don't know. And then the husband says, it's some kind of cannon. And I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. And so I bought it because I thought that was neat. And of course, you do the research on it, and you look at it and you see, yeah, it's a lantaka. That's a pretty cool piece. So this would probably be like Malaysian or something. I am
You should try it in the backyard.
no, and I was looking down the barrel of it, which is something you don't want to do with a
I
a
walked
triggered
downstairs
friend.
and he has the phone flashlight on, looking down the barrel of the cannon.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a Zippo lighter lighting it up to
I
look
know,
through the
but
barrel. I wasn't like, oh, let's light this baby up and
the
see.
things I walked down.
But I think it's actually still might be loaded. So I'm gonna go put it in the garage, I think.
Is that why you were looking down there?
Yes, because you should always inspect and make sure that your whatever you
Lighter.
have for firearm isn't well, it's not like I was holding up a lighter to
Yeah.
the end of it, you know. As long as you didn't come up and be like, hey, let me bring the blowtorch over to have a look, I'd be like, what now? But no, there's some, it looks almost like it has some minor corrosion on the inside of the barrel, and it looks like it might still have a ball or something impeding the barrel itself. So I am going to be very careful with this thing. You know how they unloaded this thing? Okay, this is not pointed at my wife in any way whatsoever. That's how you clean the barrel out. You would just light it and bam. There is no way to clean this thing out. It's just a big long tube that you light on fire.
Would an old gunpowder be unstable?
Yeah, probably. It looks to me like it got wet at some point. Like this might have been submerged. It almost looked like there's barnacles on the inside of the barrel. So I don't know if it was from maybe shipwreck or something. Bronze doesn't really rust per se, and you can get barnacles and stuff going on, but the inside of that barrel looks pretty crusty. So I don't think it's gonna be firing anything anytime soon.
I feel like we can, maybe aim it away from our house, like towards the garage door or something.
Well, that would be a surprise for the neighbors. Tiny little cannonball goes flying across.
That wouldn't make them happy.
Anyway, it's a really weird thing. Not only that, I found a stack of Confederate bills, like including $100 Confederate bill. That would have been a lot of money back in the 1800s. $100 back then would probably be like, or 10 grand or 5 grand or something now. Somebody will do the calculator for me and tell me what was $100 in 1867. It would have been a lot of money. So I did get a stack of Confederate money and some Roman coins. And anyway, it was a really interesting day. That's what I love about this job. You just never really know what you're going to find. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. Yeah, that'd be quite the thing to take to a firing range.
House fire part 2.
Josh says shoot it at my place. Yeah, that'll be that'll be the next episode. Josh and I trying to fire like a 200-year-old Asian cannon in his backyard. And then the problem with that is that you don't know if this thing has deteriorated on the inside. So you could possibly actually blow out the side of the barrel on this, and I don't want to cause any damage to it. It looks like there's some, like if you look, like there are some spots where it looks like a little bit corroded. I don't know what's going on in here. So
it would scare Hank.
I don't think I want to be trying that thing out. But yeah, anyway, it's kind of cool. Also, I'm going to explain this to you because this is what happens. And when you're not with me, this is what happens. Somebody calls me up and they say, hey, you guys buy antiques? And I go, yeah, I do. Oh, somebody said $100 in 1867 would be $1,700.58. Well, that's not as much.
1758.65.
Yeah, it's not as much inflation as I thought. Anyway, it was still a lot of money for back then. You could probably buy a house for like $100. The money went a long way. So a guy calls me up and he says, you buy old stuff, right? And I said, sure, I buy old stuff. So I go over he says, come on over and have a look. He said, I got an old console TV. I went over there, had a look, and I walk into the basement. And it's like, Indiana Jones's temple, but in a 1940s sort of subterranean basement with dust and cobwebs and stuff. And the TV is unremarkable. It's not a TV that I'd want. It's one of those big consoles. They're not worth really anything. But I look over and he's got like, I don't know, 5 jukeboxes and another 5 or 6 pinball machines. So I'm like, well, hey, forget the TV. So this was a little while back, and we made a deal. I bought some things from him, but then he called me back again yesterday, and I went over to his house, and we finally did a deal on the pinball machines and on the jukeboxes. So I just bought three 1940s and one 1950s jukebox and a couple pinball machines that now I have to haul out of some guy's basement. And the steps in his house are like skinny. I have no idea how he fit a jukebox, let alone three down those steps. He claims that it'll come back up again. I guess I'll find out. Hopefully he'll let me film, because that will be frustrating and probably hilarious for you guys to watch me struggling to bring a jukebox up a tiny flight of stairs.
No, that's not entertaining at all. That's gonna.
Well, the guts, the stuff is taken out of it. For those of you that are just tuning in now, and I see, what's the big news? What's the big news? I tuned in for this. You're talking about jukeboxes? What a ripoff! I know, I gave away the good news in the beginning, but is that we've rented our old location. We have a lovely family that's going to be opening up a hair salon in there. And finally, that building will be put to use again. So that's what the good news was. As for the jukeboxes in pinball, yeah, they are heavy. It's one of those things where you look at it, and the price was right. Like, the price was so right. I was like, man, that's a good price. And then I looked at them and how big they were and how heavy they were, and I'm like, oh, do I really want to do this to myself? And I just emptied out a lot of my store trying to make room for things, and here I buy the biggest things I can find, jukeboxes. So anyway, those will be coming to the shop, and we got to get those. Either I'll sell them as is or get them, fixed up and working. They've been sitting down there in his basement since about 1972. Can you believe that? 1972. He was ambitious. Take 6 pinball machines and 4 or 5 jukeboxes down there and out and up with this stuff. So
How in the world do you store this stuff?
Claire, that's a great question. Claire says, how do you store all this stuff? And people are like, well, you must have a warehouse somewhere. I guess I technically did. It was empty, though, because we were trying to sell it. But I move product over as quick as I can. I don't like to sit on things. I don't like to have a bunch of stuff sitting around that's not selling. So every once in a while, I go around and I sell off a bunch of things that are sitting around the store and clean house. And we took down 2 pinball machines to Kastner Auctions, which will be going for the December 5th sale. I think they're starting to get their pictures up right away. And somebody just asked if the picture's crooked. No, I think the camera's crooked.
It's possible. When I was sitting down, I hit the picture with my chair.
No, that's probably
But
okay.
I think it's
the camera.
It's the angle.
We're like squirrels because we're reading comments as we chat as well and trying to keep this on track. But anyway, I like to get rid of stuff. So I just took a whole bunch of stuff down to the auction, and now I'm filling it back up again. On that note, somebody said, how did the auction go? The comic book auction. Well, that still has 4 days left on it. I'll do a little bit of an update here coming up before too long. But there is, Kastner Auctions is December 5th. The comic book auction ends in 4 days at comicconnect.com. And we got a ways to go with those comics. I'm not going to lie. It's not doing what I need it to do just yet. So it still has not made me my money back, my investment back. So I'm kind of sweating it a little bit. Let's see. Auctions here are terrible. Can't get money for anything. Well, John Ford says auctions are not great in his area. That's probably part of the reason why I try and promote and talk about the auctions here too, is that if I let the auction house just do all the promotions, they would get bids in for me. But it's not as exciting as when you know the backstory, when you know a little bit about where they came from and who did them and all that. So sometimes you have to work a little bit too to help promote what's going on. Let's see. I'm trying to answer some questions here too at the same time and read. Joe Green says, "How's it going today?" So far, so good. How bad could it be when you go into somebody's house and walk out with an ancient cannon? That's a pretty good day.
Oh, you should have read the guesses. The guesses were the best.
Oh, what were the guesses? Oh, I heard a bronze sticky thingy.
Josh said a narwhal horn sheath.
Yeah, narwhals need a sheath, do they? Yeah, it is an interesting thing for sure.
Pea shooter. I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a little. Remember the last find I did? I did a video a little while ago, and I found some muskets, and I found some swords, and some china. And you guys said, get back to us on what it was because we'd like to know. So can I give you the rundown on what I found and what I researched and what I found out about the stuff?
You're going to get like 50-50 saying yes and no.
They'll be like, nah. Yeah, they're going to say yes. Somebody's going to say yes, and so I'm going to do it. So, if you saw that last video, I came back with an armful of swords and muskets and all kinds of things like that. And what it was, oh, sorry, Barbara Smith sent us a super chat, so I got to answer that. I just want you to know you're a bright spot in a lot of people's lives. Oh, thanks. As long as we're not a bright spot on your ultrasound, that means you probably have a problem. Go see a doctor if we're your bright spot on an ultrasound. But I am glad that we're a bright spot in your lives. That makes us happy to hear. Oh, Heather Steves. We as a family enjoy watching videos. Alex and love watching Melissa go through her day in her videos. To say, yes, we need to see Melissa putting out more videos as well. She's been documenting our lives behind the scenes, and she's got it all on camera. She just has to edit it all together.
Sometimes you know how it goes. Some days you're like, yes, I'm going to vlog. And then it's just,
It doesn't happen.
dishes again.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to talk about, I do jump in, and if there's a super chat, I'm obliged to answer those right away. So what we had, well, okay, there's another super chat. Use this for gas on your next event. Thank you so much, Matilda. We got through the swords. There was a there's a World War I American bayonet. I wrote it down on my phone. There was.
And we're filming on his phone.
Yeah, there you go. There was a World War I U.S. bayonet. There was a. I have it memorized in my head. The King George sword that was there was an officer's cutlass, but the curved blade would indicate that it's more Napoleonic and not American Revolution, as I had thought. King George III, or the Mad King George, he was the king that lost America. Yeah, that's not something you want to be known for, but you know, when you lose your car keys, he lost a whole continent. Well, what did I do with? Oh, those colonizers. Oh, those Americans. Anyway. So to find anything that's King George III is pretty historic, but there was a lot of history happening around that time, the late 1700s. Not only did they have, of course, America and the American Revolution, but they had Napoleon, who was out there just like taking over stuff like crazy. So there was a lot of stuff going on. So that would be a Napoleonic sword, which is still pretty darn rare. Not as cool as if it would have been American Revolution. However, the Brown Bess musket I got is a first model that would be more in line with what they used during the American Revolution. Brown Bess was the main flintlock musket of that era. Mine is in overall really good condition. It was missing the hammer, or the what's it called? It's not the hammer, the flint strike. It was missing that piece. There's another name for it, which is escaping my mind right now. But I did find one. I found an original one that somebody had dug up from somewhere, and they are mailing it off to me, and I should be able to complete that musket and put it back together right away. The other thing, there was a Napoleonic cutlass. Remember there was a sword that I had that was brass cutlass, and it had a really rusty blade on it. That piece was also Napoleonic, but that was French, and it was dated. Matthew Fox says, can I have all the swords, muskets, and cannons? Sure, I'll send you a picture of all the swords, muskets, and cannon. Oh, Matthew, we appreciate you. Matthew's a good guy. Matthew's actually quite the historian, too. If you've ever followed him on Facebook or not, he always puts lots of interesting posts up. John says, the hammer of the flintlock. Yeah, there's another name for the hammer on a flintlock. It has a different name, and it's basically the piece that holds the flint in place. So I will, I'll figure out what that is at some point. But anyway, I found the missing piece. It's on its way to me, and it's authentic, original, and it's the right time frame for that gun, not gum, for the gun.
Wow.
Yeah.
He has that memorized.
That's why I can't rob a bank. I'd give them a note and say, I have a gum. And they'd be like, oh, great. Your breath needs it. You should probably use it. And I'd be like, really? Oh, I wrote gum by mistake. Yeah, I think that was a Woody Allen movie or something. He said, I have a gub, like his handwriting was bad. And the lady's like arguing back and forth across the counter. Like, no, it says gub. He's like, no, I promise you, it says gun. And he's like, no, it says gub. Anyway, let's see. So there was a couple Napoleonic swords, French and English. There was a bayonet, a French bayonet from 1876. So lots of neat stuff. Double barrel, jaw screw, perhaps frizzen, perhaps, I don't know. I can't remember.
What's funny is that initially, so a lot of people wrote frizzen, and I thought people were saying that their feed was frozen and it just was misspelled.
Oh yes, the plates, the china that I got was the dishes were 18th century Japanese imari. And after having somebody look at the pictures of the back and of the front, they're unmarked, and that is typically 18th century or earlier because they didn't have to indicate country of origin on them at that time yet. Some of them are a little bit finer detail than others, but the way that they're glazed in the back or the way that they're assembled, you can see kind of little dots where there's pottery showing through, and that's a very early style. So those plates that I found, that stack of plates where I have like 7 or 8 of them, I had somebody who's actually an Imari expert come into my store and look at them, and they said, yeah, those are 18th century Imari Japanese plates. So I got, that was a good find considering I was just like, this is what you do, folks. In this business, you don't know everything. You can't know everything, but you know enough to look at the way it's made, to see that it's hand painted. And that's what I did. I looked at the dish. I saw it was hand painted. I saw, you could see where the brush marks were. You could see it had age to it. And I was just like, oh, some nice plates. And she's like, yeah, you can just take those with you. And I was like, great, we'll add them into the pile and we'll buy all this stuff. But then it ends up being 1700s Japanese Imari plates. And the green jade bowls I've actually sold since then. They were earlier. They were probably 15 or 1600s shipwreck. They were hand-carved jade bowls, and somebody who is a collector of those reached out to me and bought them, and they are off and on their way. So really neat stuff. I love it. Somebody had mentioned, like, it'd be nice if you actually got some historic stuff in your store. I'm like, what more historic do I need other than 17th century 17th century potty? It stinks.
Wow.
Man, that thing needs to be empty. That's a 17th century potty we got sitting there. Let's see. Oh, Deb T. Will this auction be the last of Mary's Pottery? Yeah, Deb, actually, so we're doing an auction with Kastner Auctions, and I put through the last of the pieces of pottery that I have. And when I say the last, I mean, I took this stuff out of my own showcase. This was stuff that was in my own collection. The last time I sold the stuff that we had at the store. Now this is like everything, except I'm keeping one sphere for myself because I would like to keep a piece of Mary's pottery for myself. And I kept the most beautiful, the most exquisite black sphere. It's just absolutely perfect. It's burnished perfectly. There's not a flaw to it, and it's almost perfectly symmetrical. I kept that for us. But other than that, everything else is going through auction, as well as some of the other pottery that I got from her house that weren't hers, including a piece that she got from her friend at the Olympics in Montreal back in '73. So all that stuff is going up for auction. Oh, you guys want to see the sphere that I'm keeping? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Wait, I'm going to tell you this really quick. Lisa said, unboxed a gorgeous brass bowl just today. He exceeded my expectations. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay, great.
That's the one that you sent.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that everything is making its way out there. I try and ship things out pretty quickly too, by the way. Andrew Vansha says, hello from Saskatchewan. Great news on renting out the old shop. Hope you're all doing great. And hello, Andrew. Which part of Saskatchewan are you in? I don't know if you knew this. I lived in Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan, sometime I'm going to go and I'm going to get the sphere for you in a minute and show you the one I'm keeping. But I have to share my Saskatchewan story. I lived in Regina, Saskatchewan for 2 years. And Regina, of course, being the name of Queen Victoria's, was it Queen Victoria's daughter?
Oh, I think I know.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, I think it was the Queen's daughter was named after. Anyway, so they named it after her. But I lived in Regina for a couple of years, and I was working on TV shows and movies and things like that. And I also worked for the Saskatchewan Rough Riders for a bit. And I traveled around with the CFL team and took their videos. That was the fun part. I don't know if I shared this before or not. I'll share this and then I'll share the other part of the Saskatchewan story. So I'm working for a football team, a professional football. CFL is like the NFL for us. CFL, they'd be like, our balls are bigger as CFL. Anyway, it's the same kind of thing. Guys, they cross back and forth, some of the players. Anyway, so I was working for a CFL team. And I was not a player. I was a guy who basically just filmed what was happening, edit it together, and then the coach would go yell at them and tell them whether they screwed up. You know, when you watch a movie and you see like the X's and O's and he's like, you ran left when you were supposed to run right, and then they're all sitting there all dejected. Anyway, I was a guy that made those videos. But as a fun part of it, I got to travel around with the team. And one time, I was from Edmonton, and I moved away. I went to Saskatchewan. We came to do a game in Edmonton, and we were all staying at a hotel downtown. And we just checked in, And I phoned Melissa. This is before we were married. I phoned Melissa and I said, hey, why don't you come over and we'll go out to see a movie? And so what did the guys see? Me walking out of my hotel room after being in the hotel room for 5 minutes in a new city with my girl on my arm. And they go, whoa, dude. And they're like giving me high fives. Like, how'd you do that? We've only been here. Like, we just got off the bus 5 minutes ago. So Melissa gave me super street creds with the football guys. They like took me out, bought me drinks. It was a good old time.
Wow.
And, little do they know we had been in a relationship and been writing back and forth even though I moved away. So that was pretty fun. But we got to travel around with the guys. And that was actually kind of sad when you get to know somebody really well and they didn't make the cut and they got kicked off the team or whatever, or sent back down to the minors. But it was a fun time. The other Saskatchewan story is that when I was working in film out there, I had to go and take pictures of the landscape. And I went out after a really rainy day. And the road was a little bit higher than the fields, but the fields had flooded. And the water went for so long in either direction, because it had just really rained, that you could actually see the curvature of the earth. And I felt like, whoa, it's the first time I feel like I'm going to fall off the planet. Saskatchewan is that flat. And if you're from Saskatchewan, you probably know the old joke. Saskatchewan is so flat. How flat is it? Saskatchewan's so flat, you can watch your dog run away for 3 days. Come back.
Wow.
Anyway, it is the one place in the world where I've actually felt vertigo just standing on the ground, because you could see the earth curve. So for all those people that are flat earthers and you want some motivation to understand that we're on a round planet, go to Saskatchewan and stand there on a rainy day and you'll be like, what's happening?
Oh man, I hope I don't have to be like right on the.
Oh, now we're going to have a bunch
now.
of flat earthers that are mad at me. You lie. The earth is flat. Our eyes are round. That's why the planets look round. I'll hear all your crazy about how earth isn't round and it's flat. Anyway, those are people who haven't traveled. I can tell you that. You know, Amelia Earhart and them, people knew that the earth, you couldn't just, anyway, it's funny. I'm going to go get the sphere and I'm going to show you the sphere. Melissa's going to keep you entertained with the song.
Oh, sure I am.
Yeah, make her sing.
Okay, I'm going to move over, you guys, and I'm going to still try to read your
Are you taking my
comments.
spot?
I took your spot. You better hurry. I'm going to take over your whole show.
I knew it.
Hopefully you're all doing well. He's still talking from upstairs, like I can hear him. Can you guys hear that? Our bedroom is directly above the dining room table. Thank you so much, you guys, for the complimenting the necklace. It's one of my favorites. I haven't worn it for a while. Look at all you thinking that I'm going to sing. No, it's not going to happen. How did the relish turn out? It actually turned out really good. It's a little bit sweet. For those of you that don't know, I have a YouTube channel as well, and I did a relish recipe. I don't remember what it's called. Green tomato relish, I think. Yeah. But it was super good. Oh, I hear his little tiptoes coming back. Melissa, that's a husband thing, TikTok from the other side of the house. So when I'm talking, sometimes he'll still be talking, like walking out the door. The door has closed. I can still hear him talking, like I can hear him. I found
treasures.
He brought more than one thing. What do you guys think that wait, don't bring it all the way on. What do you think the second thing? Alexander brought the sphere, which you already knew, but he also brought a second toy.
Okay, scooch over.
What do you think he brought? What could he not resist bringing out of that cabinet?
Well, I think they'll know.
Wait, I bet they'll know. Musical instrument, cutlass, a sword.
I know.
Oh, a car.
What's this all about?
A train. Look at them go. A toy car.
Wow, Melissa, you're wearing sleeves.
Did somebody say that?
Yeah.
It's true.
It's
I
true.
don't like wearing sleeves at all, but I'm freezing today.
Yeah.
You guys know.
Okay, this is the sphere that I kept that I found in Mary's place. There's her little M on there. You see that? Tiny little hole, just a little pinpoint. I asked her once, I said, how did you get, because I found some of these that didn't even have the hole in it. And I said, how did you get them so smooth and so perfect? And I wish I could have recorded some of those conversations, because I met with her more than just the one time that you guys saw me do the interview with her. But she said that she would fire it. And she did that. These are raku. These are open fire, which means basically she just gets a pit going in the backyard, not a kiln, an open fire pit, and she would make her pottery that way. And it's crazy that the things that she could do in the raku style fire pit. It's a very difficult way to do pottery because the way that you do pottery, normally you have a kiln and it's all the same sort of temperature and it bakes evenly and you're all good to go. But with the fire pit, it's crackling and moving in the wind and all that stuff, and so things could blow up, and things often do. This piece was fired in an open pit, and it did not crack and it did not explode. And to have a sealed ball like this and the gases not blow it up, it's just amazing that she was able to do it. And I asked, how did you get it so shiny? It's almost like, you can't see in this light maybe, but it's almost like a black metallic sort of finish. That's the glaze, that's the clay. She would fire it, and then she would go to the river, and she would stand there for hours, and she would look for special stones. She would look for smooth rocks that had the right kind of feel. And she would just sit there and she'd burnish it. And that's the way that they would burnish pottery. The Mayans would do it that way. Indigenous peoples would do it that way. You'd burnish it with a stone, and you just keep polishing and polishing and polishing. And clay, after it's been fired, will come up to that amazing shine all on its own without even having a glaze on it. So just amazing. And this one is so perfect and beautiful. It's the one that I decided to keep. And you hear that noise? Do you guys hear that? You hear that little marble inside? I asked her, why did she put a little marble inside? And she said, so people knew that it was hollow, because she didn't want people to think that she had just made a ball and then put it and baked it. She wanted them to know that it was a thin layer that had been fired, and so that she could prove her skill. And many of them didn't have that little hole like this one has, but that's for the air to escape when she's firing it. So this is thin like it would be pottery, but made into a perfect ball. Anyway, because she was so, I would say, obsessed with spheres and everything, I kept that one because that really emblemizes her artwork. But the other thing that I kept, and this is what Melissa's like, guess what he brought down, guys? This is the other thing I kept. The only other thing I really kept from the Potter's house, other than the Potter's house itself. You guys remember this? This truck I found in multiple pieces all over that house. And I happen to collect clockwork toys. And a Gamma truck is right up my alley anyway. So I kept it. It has a wind-up clockwork motor under the hood. It has little tiny doors that open. Look, the door is open. Isn't that cool? It has a gear shifter inside and a steering wheel that works and an emergency brake that works. And you can put it in reverse or forward or neutral. Has working headlights on it. And on one of the very last days I was there, oh look, it even tilts. But all these pieces for this truck were all over that house. They were all lost. And every time I'd take a box out, I'd be like, well, that hood looks like it's off of that truck. And I'd be like, well, I'd be darned, that's the back off of the truck. Until I eventually just found the whole darn truck. And then one of the last visits I was in that house, I found the key for it, the original Gamma key. But what are the odds that I'd be in that house going through all that stuff, digging trash out all over the place and finding things. And I found a whole darn truck that had been taken apart in many boxes, and I had the skill set to put it back together. So anyway, that's all back together now. Everything was off of it. Somebody took it apart and scattered it. It's not like it was all in one box. Like this was in the downstairs bathroom, and the hood was in the attic, and the other piece, well, I don't know, was in a bedroom or whatever. It was all over the place, guys, but it was fun.
Nancy, you know he makes vroom noises when he's playing with trucks. I'm surprised he didn't do it here. I mean, right now.
I'd be more inclined to make the backing up noises for safety, like the beep, beep, beep as it's backing up. Because you never know when you might have somebody that, might need something like this. Anyway, this was just really cool. So I collect this kind of stuff. I collect toys and specifically mechanical, a lot of Shuko and stuff like that. So since that's right in the alley of what I collect, I decided to keep it. Again, for those of you who are just logging in, and Dean, you need to research stuff before you start flapping your gums about it. Makes you look like a fool. I just said 10 minutes ago, Dean, I don't know everything. I'm learning.
He wrote a whole bunch of stuff, so he was
I'm flapping my gums because I'm, one thing is you can pretend to be an expert or you can just be a normal human being and learn things as you go. And sometimes I'm researching things as I go. I do know a fair bit of stuff, but there's still stuff I'm learning. So anyway, I'm human, as is anybody else. And, there's only so much can fit in a person's brain to have on brain speed dial. Some things you do have to look up.
Look at all the attention you got, Dean.
Yeah.
I can't believe he let you have the time.
Oh, it's okay. Dean is just grumpy. Maybe he likes Dean Martin music.
Well, maybe he is an expert on tin toys and stuff, and he's like, God, no.
Yeah. Anyway, no hard feelings. But I do know that there are things that I'm learning, and that's what I love about this business. It's like going to school every single day.
They said the rest of us enjoy it. Keep flapping. LOL.
Did I know much about Malaysian hand cannons from the 1800s before I started today? Not really. Do I know a little bit about it now? Sure I do. Do I know how to fire this thing now? Oddly, yes. It's a grain of sand per caliber of bullet this is. So if it's a 50 caliber, it's 50 grains of sand. But do I want to be the guy who tries it? Not really, because I might blow it up, and I don't want to blow up a piece of history. So I'm going to probably get it into my friend who has an armory and just get him to make sure the barrel's cleaned out of any gunpowder and then put it on display at the store, because you don't want that going off by surprise. Anyway, so how are you guys doing? Maybe we'll do a little Q&A here today too and do a little chatter.
What's the name of the socks that we carry?
Blue Q
I think Ryan was asking before, and I just saw somebody else ask.
Yeah.
Blue Q.
Josh says, I'll try it. Yeah, Josh, I know you're willing to try the cannon.
Dude,
I don't want you to destroy my stuff.
Josh, those the wine bottle holders turned out really well. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, there was a lot of neat stuff that came in today. But there are certainly a number of things you can learn in this business, and there's a number of ways to learn it. And that is one of the things I love about this, is that you really come across so many unusual items. And you look at even Civil War currency, Confederate bills. To think there was a whole separate White House at one point, and it's astounding. Anyway, always fun to learn about history, and you learn about history by holding this stuff in your hands and examining and checking it all out and learning from it. So. Any Elvis items on hand at your store? It's funny you should ask that, Tammy. The house that I got this cannon from, their whole basement was nothing but original Elvis movie posters. Like, they were crazy Elvis fans. They had every single Elvis movie poster you can imagine. They had a Marilyn Monroe poster there too. But it was really, really lots of fun. Plumbrook Estates says, hi from Prince George, BC. I enjoy learning about all the cool things you come across. Me too.
Somebody said they wanted to hear Hans sing, and he said, I could only sing in a bag so no one could hear me. LOL.
You could probably tie up that bag and sell it and say it's bagged Hans song. Yeah. So let's see. Is Mary's cookbook for Glazes for sale at the auction? Maggie, yes. There was a recipe book for Glazes that was found recently at my store. I had a box of stuff from Mary's house I hadn't really gone through. I remember finding it. I think it was on an episode where I found it like a year or so ago. I didn't know what happened to it. Apparently it was at the store. That is up for auction, as well as a whole bunch of original pictures and drawings that Mary did too. Yeah, so hopefully that auction sale does well. We definitely, this is probably, I said last time it was the biggest auction sale I did, and we had the Picasso go through there. This will be the biggest auction sale I've done in terms of quantity. I took approximately 720 items to auction. 720 things that I had kicking around the store.
Can you imagine being the person that has to do the auction call for all those things?
Yeah, they've got Sean's
goodness.
dad, Brian, is doing it. The auctioneer from last time was the guy that started the auction house. It's called Kastner Auctions because of Brian Kastner. Brian is the fellow with the beard. He's also a banjo player. So if he plays the banjo, I don't know if he'll be doing that while he's auctioning. He should do that while he auctions. Do you imagine playing the banjo and calling an auction at the same time?
Wow. No.
Yeah. I wonder if you can make a song. That's what we should do. We should make music and have an auctioneer playing the banjo with like some rap beats in the background.
Oh my gosh.
Bing, bada, ding, ding, ding. How many? Someone, we're going to get out of $5, $5, $7, $10. Anyway, I think because they've moved to online in the last little while because of the old COVID that's floating around. They are not doing live sales, so they're doing pretty much everything online, and they don't generally bring him in to auctioneer unless it's sort of a bigger sale. But they will be doing a live auction feed. That's my birthday. I don't know how I'm going to try and squeeze in doing an auction video live feed. Maybe I'll just log in for a little bit of a live feed because it's my birthday that day to see how things are going. But I'm going to just sit back and hope that it's a busy sale, and what a nice birthday present that'll be to just pay off a whole bunch of stuff at the end of the day. And it's all those things. If you have stuff sitting around your house and you're not looking at it or not using it, and it's not your spouse, then you could put it through auction and you could sell some stuff. So yeah. We'll try and answer some questions now too. We'll probably take another few minutes here and answer some of your questions. Yes, Sagittarius. I don't know what that says about me, but Sagittarius.
You know, it's funny, Stephen A., when you were first coming on, I thought you were our Stephen, and that was the name that he was going under.
Okay, two questions.
Oh yeah, how did Stephen's drawing do on eBay? But it's still on, isn't
Stephen's drawing is still on eBay. It's at $80 Canadian, $83 Canadian. And he's a happy fella right now. Stephen is saving up for a couple things. He's saving up for art supplies, and he's saving up for his very first car. And I bought my first car, and I think that saving up my own money and earning it my own way helped me to really value money and understand how hard it was to make that come together. So I will probably help him when it comes to finding and selecting a car, but he's saving up his own money for it. So he's every little bit counts. So Stephen's little drawing, actually I shouldn't say Stephen's little drawing, that's demeaning. Stephen did a really wonderful work of art that's worthy of any gallery that an adult could do.
I think I have it.
You should get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Melissa's gonna grab it and show you. It's up for auction for a little while yet, and he's a talented artist, I will say. I'm proud of my son. And he put it up on eBay under Curiosity Inc. And I see Melissa walking. She's walking. She's looking at me. She did a little funny dance.
Oh, they're never gonna believe you.
Oh yeah, believe me, she did a funny little dance. It was like this. So this is pen and ink.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stephen did this eagle, and he named it Seeing, and he did it in shades of black, and it's just a really powerful piece. Could you imagine that nicely framed? Be a beautiful thing to have on your wall anyway. I'm not just saying that because he's my kid. I'm actually saying that's a nice piece of artwork. So this is the one that's up for sale on eBay right now. Look, we're plugging our kids stuff right now, but that's how that goes.
Well, it is
He'll be
awesome.
happy.
It's actually cool.
If he gets some bids on his picture, he'll be a happy guy. So we're proud of our kid. We're proud of all of our kids, and they all have such unique and different talents and special ways. Abigail's learning Spanish for some apparent reason.
We went, I forgot that I had a Skillshare account. Nothing like paying for something that you forget about. And you can take Spanish. So Abigail and I are doing the Spanish lessons on Skillshare. And it's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, except she's learned how to ask for a coffee.
Yeah, the first thing was asking for a coffee and 2 Coca-Colas.
How do you... ¿Dónde está sus café, por favor?
No.
No?
It's because you want 2.
Oh, ¿dónde estás due café, por favor? That's where are the 2 coffees.
No, it's something like...
How do you say it?
Hold on. What was it? Me pone
I don't know. We need...
un café, por favor.
Me pone una café?
No.
Me
Una
pone...
una is feminine.
Un café, por favor.
Un café, por favor. Yeah.
Dame un café, por favor. Thank you. Gracias, muchas gracias. Se habla no español. I used to work with, it's good to learn a little bit of each kind of language that you can to try and say hello or whatever. But then you get yourself into a situation where you go, hola amigo, ¿cómo estás? And they're like, muy bien. And then you really don't understand anything else past that. And you're like just nodding your head and smiling.
May my horse please have a coffee? That's what I think every time it's like, me pone. It sounds like pony.
My
me
horse.
Pone un café, por favor.
But why is it when I think of speaking Spanish, I feel like I have to sound like the Dos Takis guy or whatever it is, the most interesting man in the world? I don't often drink Coca-Cola, but when I do, I drink it from the bottle. Yeah.
Yes, for sure he makes the broom noises.
Like he's just descended from the mountains with like a bag of coffee over his shoulder. Like, I handpicked these Colombian beans myself. Look at my fingers. There's nothing left but nubs. Anyway, yeah. I imagine, anyway, I think that the Spanish language is quite beautiful, is what I'm getting at. And I think it's like, it's an alluring, mysterious language. It's a language that you must nurture and grow and water every once in a while and watch it bubble up inside your brain and the Spanish comes pouring out left and right. Anyway.
Yeah, Skillshare's online.
Melissa's like, enough of this. Skillshare's online. Enough of this guy. I say. That's right. I'll start talking like I'm in an old Benny Hill movie. I say.
I could just see Alexander and then get a 2-liter of Coke. Can you imagine if Alexander drank any Coca-Cola?
Count Chocula. Wait, is it there's the count? 1, 2, 3. Wah-ha-ha. But I can't remember what Count Chocula sounded like. Are you saying that he sounded like a very interesting Spanish person? I'm not sure.
You're your own party, Alex.
That's pretty much how high school went. I'd be like, didn't need anybody around. Oh.
They deleted my German.
Thank you, Barbara.
That's funny. I was wondering because I know who Deb T is. So I thought, what could she have said? I missed it.
I don't drink coffee, and I don't, mainly because I don't like the taste of it. It's not like I'm opposed to caffeine, but
It's
I shouldn't.
It's so good.
I generally don't drink a lot of caffeine, probably for many people's benefit. Do you imagine? I think I'm much more tame when I'm at the store because I'm intent on just getting stuff done. When I'm at the store, it is just packed full of me putting stuff out, organizing, cleaning, sweeping, getting the shelves done, taking stuff to auction. I get a chance to unwind with you guys and just have fun. So that's all fun. Yeah, no Red Bull for me, thank you. They used to have a cola here called Jolt Cola. You guys remember that? It was like 3 times the caffeine of Coca-Cola. The convenience store down from my junior high school used to sell it. And I would go and I'd get myself one of those. And I apologize to any of my junior high school teachers. That's probably why the junior high school teacher looked at me and he's like, you're going to amount to nothing. Because I'm like, you ain't going to do nothing. Anyway, 5 times the caffeine. Yeah, see that? I didn't need that. I did buy recently some chocolate covered coffee beans. And I'm like, these are pretty good. So generally I don't like the taste of coffee, but I don't mind the taste of coffee beans. Does that make sense at all?
No. That's
so,
fine. I like not having to share the coffee.
But I could feel like my heart was beating too fast, and I could feel like my eyes, I could feel them moving around in the back of my head. So I don't think caffeine is a good fit for me. A little too much.
I remember I hadn't had cola for a long time, and I had some, and I was like, something's not right. I can feel my heart. I drink coffee, so it was probably a combination between the caffeine and all that sugar.
Yeah, they also used to sell those Orbs drinks that I think I only had once or twice in my life.
Orbeez.
Orbeez?
Oh, no.
It was Orbs, I think.
Orbeez are the little glue balls that stick together and make things.
Yeah, no. You guys remember that? It was like a clear sort of soda and it had little gelatin balls floating around because nothing goes down smoother on a hot day like little sticky balls of gelatin.
It was like, it was so viscous, like it was so concentrated, like syrupy drink that they could suspend little Jello balls in there. It was, Orbs. I don't remember if that's what it was called.
Oh, Orbits.
Orbits.
There we go. So somebody asked how the Nanaimo bar liqueur was. I don't know if you want to. I can grab the bottle of it. Okay. I'll show you. Oh.
Now I got that.
Steven is not making prints of this. Somebody asked, is Steven making prints of his work? No, this is the only one. If you want it, you're going to have to go on eBay and bid on it, because that's the only one.
He picks in just his little head sticking out.
I don't know why we're giving a random shout out to some liquor company, but we are.
Bubble tea has little round things in it. Yeah, pearls. I like bubble tea that has fruit in it, too. I like bubble tea. What's the good news, please? Barb, we rented the store. I mean, the
Well, we're
the
supposed
old
to.
store.
We're supposed to sign the lease
Well, hopefully.
tomorrow.
It's not, that's true. We didn't sign
Maybe we
the
should
lease yet.
celebrate. I'm going to get Melissa a little snifter of this. So,
A sniffer? Is that
for those of you watching at home, I posted a picture of this on Instagram. What this is it's a whiskey liqueur. If you've ever had Irish cream, it's similar in that sense, but it's Nanaimo bar flavored. And if you don't know what a Nanaimo bar is, you got to look it up. It is what, like, is it?
It's like a coconut brownie kind of at the bottom, and then custard in the middle, like a custard. It's like a solid custard, and then chocolate on the top. That sounds disgusting the way I described it, but it is delicious. And apparently it's Canadian, which I didn't realize. But this basically tastes like coconutty mint chocolate. Yeah, that's it.
Is there mint? I don't think it's minty.
Oh no, it's not mint, right? It's just
It's kind of
chocolate
like
and coconut.
buttery, chocolatey coconut. Anyway, it's
It smells like Nanaimo bar, like that custardy thing.
yeah. So I'm only taking a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna give you the.
You took a polite sip.
It's really good. It's like
It's creamy, like it tastes like cream.
it's like Bailey's. Is it like Bailey's?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the consistency of Bailey's, but it tastes better.
Yeah, the coconut and they sell out really fast. So
You know, the only place that had this was Costco. The Costco liquor store was the only place that had that stuff. Anyway, for the Canadians out there, a Nanaimo bar, which is what they show the picture of, that's what it is. It's chocolate with this custardy kind of, I don't know,
yeah.
whatever, and then like a cookie crumbly layer on the bottom. This is what in Canada your grandma would make at Christmas time.
not the booze, unless
No, not the booze. Yeah, unless your grandma was awesome. She's like, I got the still going out back. You're like, why is the bathtub in the backyard again, Grandpa? You'd be like, don't talk to me about it. It's your grandma. She's making her whiskey, her bathtub whiskey. Anyway.
I'm gonna make Nanaimo bars on my channel at some point. Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, that's a kind of a Canadian thing. It's named after Nanaimo, British
good.
Columbia.
It's really good.
So Nanaimo bars are what we would have. Like if I went to my grandma's house, she made a few things. This is what my grandma would make. And for Heather,
Is there real coconut in it? I don't
know.
think so. I think it's
But for Heather, my sister, who missed out on our grandma, and I'm gonna make it up to her. Our grandma would make the world's best maple fudge. She would make apple pies, of course, with a big scoop of ice cream. You guys eat apple pie with ice cream? My dad used to like it with cheese on occasion. He put like
sorry.
have you ever had apple pie with a piece of cheese on top?
I
Like,
only did it because I saw it on a movie, but
I don't know. I'm gonna see if anybody ever had apple pie with cheese on it before.
is that normal here though? Like, I mean, I've
It's
never.
not normal anywhere. It's a sin. It's horrible.
No, he would. Yeah, he would. My dad would like apple pie with a little thin slice of cheddar.
I know,
it
but
had,
do you never see that in Canada? Like, you see that on the movies. You don't see that. That's not normal.
I don't know. I
here.
had it before. It's all right. I like it better with ice cream
But
though.
your dad probably got it from your mom, and you got it from your mom.
Yeah, I
I've
don't
only
know.
seen it on movies.
But my family came from America, and you go back far enough, they came from Northumberland, England, from Newcastle. But they were in America for a really long time, where apparently they picked up their passion for cheese on things because they put cheese on their pie. If that's just an American thing, I guess we must have imported that up here.
But
But
maybe, I don't know.
Grandma would-
apples and cheese is good.
my grandma would also make Nanaimo bars. Did your grandma make Nanaimo
Yeah,
bars, or
and
does
my
she?
mom.
And your mom?
And
My
me.
mom makes them too. Yeah. Oh wait, did you say Michelle says it's common in Michigan? What are Nanaimo bars common in Michigan? That'd be funny.
No, the pie with
Oh,
the
pie with cheese. I don't know. My dad traveled. My dad traveled down to the United States a little bit. He must have at least traveled down to Montana.
Wow.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have a Heather with us here today.
I've never heard of cheese on apple pie. You know what? When you first hear it, for me, it sounded gross. Like that's like a dessert and very much like not something you put on a pie. But I tried it. It was not bad. Cheddar cheese and apple pie was not bad. I don't purposely do it, but I tried it.
Wait, if
I
cheese is
accidentally do it.
if cheese is good on apple pie, it's not bad. Would an apple be good on a cheeseburger? Abigail is off screen with the hiccups right now.
I mean, there's like apple butter barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Somebody said, in Wisconsin, you eat cheese with everything. Yeah, you guys have those cheese hats you wear around your games too. Cheese head hats.
That's what you remember about Wisconsin.
I
the
would
cheese hats.
I love cheese. Abigail also loves cheese, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
like,
it's good.
whatever, Dad, it's good, I guess. She loves cheese.
Close
And
the pantry, please.
Sound like that.
she's hiccuping at the same time. I would go to Wisconsin just for cheese. If you tell me that your area is famous for cheese, I'll probably be there. I think I would follow cheese more than I would follow chocolate.
Not me. I would follow good food anywhere.
Yeah, if they said, we have the freshest kale salads in all the land, Melissa would be there because she's like eats
I'd
like
be
a
there
bunny
for-
rabbit.
I would be there for anything. Like, you know what? I love traveling for the people and the food. I'm not joking. Yeah, I completely go for the people and the food. That's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Oh, somebody said the Code Monkey says, "I have 3 cheese heads. Go pack, go." Yep.
I'm called the mouse of the house.
Somebody Denise says, "Do you like poutine or poutine?"
Of course.
Yeah. Abigail, what do you think about poutine? Yeah. It's good? Okay. She's being super shy today.
No.
I think it depends on I think that the French fries can make or break it. Because if it's like cheap, greasy French fries that make you feel terrible, then it's just.
In Canada, you can get different things that our Costco has different stuff here in some ways. Obviously, we have Nanaimo bar flavored like Bailey's, but we also have poutine at the Costco food court. And of all the places in town that sell poutine, the Costco stuff's not bad. It's like $5 and you get this giant tub. It's like a tub of French fries. Like they empty the whole bag into the fryer and they give you the whole bag and they empty all the cheese in the world they had on it. And frankly, it's not bad. I'm sure that there's a French person in Quebec right now going, "Sacre bleu, it's horrible. You can't eat that. It's disgusting."
So in the drink, sorry, Hans, Zenobia asked if there was actual coconut. It just says natural and artificial flavor. That sounds healthy. So on the back of this, it says it's their award-winning whiskey, flavors of chocolate, vanilla, coconut, and graham wafer. Enjoy over ice or in your favorite coffee.
Yep.
I don't think I'd put it in coffee.
Costco poutine is good. People are agreeing with me. See, I'm not crazy.
Costco poutine is exactly the one that I was mentioning. The cheap fries wreck the poutine. It's
I don't know. I think that's a matter of opinion.
no,
you
I
eat
feel
so
sick
much,
every
it
time I
makes you
eat those
sick.
fries. Every time.
You know what would be really good if Five Guys. You guys have Five Guys where you are? If Five Guys had poutine, that would be the ultimate for me.
Because those French fries are good.
It's like real potatoes. Like, I don't know. They sit there and they smush them in their potato machine.
Yeah.
Somebody keeps saying McRibs. You guys still have McRibs where you are? Would you also still have McPizza?
Well, I liked when we went to Germany, they had McBeer.
Yeah, they had
Did we try it because we could? Or
No, the McDonald's in Germany had beer,
yeah,
which was odd.
McBeer.
Yeah.
We don't have that here. I love Cajun fries. Yes, us too.
Yep.
Five Guys.
Five Guys poutine is a great idea. See, right? I'm giving them ideas all day long. Five Guys French fries are probably my favorite French guys.
French guys? They're your favorite French guys?
Five Guys is my favorite French fry. So I was reading, somebody said, Five Guys is a grease bomb and so overrated.
Naked and laughing, I completely agree.
No, this is where we agree to disagree.
Alexander and the kids like Five Guys, and I think it's like I don't want a burger that is like all liquid. I want I need it to be juicy, but I don't need it to be like.
We don't have In-N-Out burgers here.
But plus, I don't eat red meat.
Yeah. No, the French fries are good at Five Guys. I don't know.
French
I'm
fries
sorry.
are. I agree. French fries at Five Guys are good.
The French fries are
But
good
I don't
with
I didn't
vinegar.
like their burgers.
There used to be lots of restaurants back in the day. Five Guys is one of the only ones left where you can eat peanuts and make a big mess. There used to be restaurants you'd go into or bars. You guys remember that? And they'd throw peanut shells all over the floor. It was not good for people with anaphylactic tendencies. If you were allergic to peanuts, probably not great. Let's go to the club tonight. Sounds awesome. It's going to be so lit. What's on the floor? What's that crunching sound? As they swell up like huge and have to get rushed off to the hospital.
Wow.
The end of many dates happened going into one of those bars that had peanuts all over the place.
When is the American Thanksgiving?
I think
29th or something, November. So the reason I'm saying this is I see Bandana Grandma's on, and she shared on her channel easy and foolproof pastry. So anybody making pies, I would check out her channel for sure.
Oh, somebody said that Russell says, I like to buy 2 hot dogs and share a poutine with my wife at Costco, and it's cheap too. Yeah, the hot dog and the drink is $1.50, and it's a hot dog so big, it's like the size of this Malaysian cannon. It's like, here's your hot dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't have In-N-Out.
That's what I was saying, that I'm the reason why they took the sauerkraut off of the serve yourself sauerkraut. But now they don't serve, you can't serve yourself there anyway. Because I'd be like, they got sauerkraut here? And I'd be like, wow, it's full of sauerkraut, yoinks. And then they'd be like, who's this guy? Get him out of here. Yeah, no more sauerkraut. We're attracting the wrong crowd. The manager later on is like, We had to eliminate sauerkraut off the menu. We had all kinds of crazies coming in here looking for that sauerkraut, dumping it on their hot dog like it was a fiesta of sauerkraut. And then I was disappointed because now I think you have to ask for it and they give you a little cup full of sauerkraut. Anyway, that must be the German in me. Mit loves the sauerkraut.
Oh my God.
It's very good sauerkraut. Don't make my kraut sour.
That's like a whole process, the whole making sauerkraut. When I went to Frankfurt, there were people in the apartment building making it. Apparently it's like
I think I might like my kraut extra sour.
your kraut.
They should have sauerkraut in a jar that has a picture of like a German guy with a hat on and his lips are completely puckered in. Be like, the world's most sour sauerkraut. No?
I know, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nancy says, jawohl. Sauerkraut, das ist sehr gut. Dankeschön. Bitte sehr, and all that good stuff. We're just basically just having fun now and messing around. I was saying that our big news basically is that we have a rent. You know, this is the thing. We're signing the lease tomorrow on our space for somebody to open up a hair salon at our old store. Lovely African family. It's going to be a beautiful spot for them. They're going to watch this live feed tonight and be like, these are our landlords.
I told you know what, I was lucky.
You didn't tell her we had a YouTube channel?
No. I said, I don't think I told her. I might have.
People in real life
did.
can't know who we are. They're going to be like, no.
You know what's funny is that I don't tell my parents of the students that that I teach, but I sent them a video showing what I expected the parking to be like and like, you know, the expectations. But I put it out on my YouTube channel. I mean, just private to them. But then it linked it to my videos. So the kids think I have like a TV show. They think I'm like, they can't understand why I'm on their TV. I might have told her. I don't know.
You know, it's funny. Somebody said that they only have McRibs at certain hours. When the pigs saunter into a McDonald's and the moon hits the fryer at the right moment, we shall have McRibs. It reminds me of an antique store I went to in Oregon, and they were only open from 11:43 a.m. to 4:47 p.m. I'm like, well, that's a really specific schedule. I took a picture of it, and I don't know what happened to the picture of it, but it made me laugh so hard, and nobody else that I was working with thought it was remotely funny that they had such specific hours. I'm like, 11:43, like who's going to be like, don't go to Bill's Antique Shops, he's not open for another 13 minutes. Why don't you just say 12? You buy yourself a little bit extra time and people can remember that. Anyway, I thought it was fun. Little things like that make me laugh. Like little
New headlines tomorrow. We have crazy landlords.
Probably. But that made me laugh really hard. The other thing that made me laugh is when I saw a hand-drawn sign. It was really messy, but it was for somebody who made professional signs. It was like, Joe's Custom Sign Service, but he must have didn't want to spend the money on materials for his own sign, so it was written in marker on a board. I'm like, what? That's like the worst sign to advertise for your sign business. You just wrote that out with Jiffy marker on your board. Anyway, little things like that make me laugh all the time. And I think my Abigail shakes her head. Stephen and Jason generally laugh. They've adopted my weird humor. And that's okay. I'm all right with that.
She'll say wow like I did. Wow.
Yeah.
It's
kind of been a bit of a silly live feed tonight.
Most times it does end up silly.
Yeah, and then you see me on a video and I'm like, and over here I'm going to be digging through this box and oh look, it's a thing. It's a cup that once held, I don't know, something.
You know, it's we actually don't eat McDonald's. Sorry, McDonald's, if you wanted us to, to ever sponsor a video, it's not going to happen.
I don't want to ruin it for you guys. And it's nothing really against McDonald's. It's just, I don't know. Have you ever taken the bun? Okay, when you see I don't want to get in trouble by McDonald's. I'm just going to say fast food in general because McDonald's will be all litigious on us. They'll be like, you cost us money because you said bad things. Okay, let's not.
Don't feed me rotten food,
Oh,
McDonald's.
hey, Melissa, thanks for responding to my comment in your vlog last week when it was snowing that day. Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
If you go to a fast food restaurant and you look at the picture up on the board when you're ordering, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get that one. And then they bring it to you. It never looks like the picture for starters.
Yeah.
It's like the bun is hanging off and you're like, well, I guess I paid for this. I better stick it in my belly. At some point you're almost like, may as well just open my stomach with a hatch door and just dump it right inside and close it because you don't want to look at it. But when you take the bun off, look at the meat of a patty from a fast food place. There's like little tubey things and
Widow
gross stuff,
tubey
and
things.
it looks like somebody put a bunch of garden hoses together and chopped it off and painted it brown, and then they stick lettuce on top. It's gross, guys. It's not quality meat. And I know a bunch of you out there probably like, I like it. I don't care what you say. It's the best in the world. I don't know. Take a good look at your patty next time you're there. It's weird.
Before I was actually served rotten food, until that point, I knew because my sister worked for the stockyard that sent the cows to those places, and she saw what animal was actually going for those restaurants. Even knowing what was going, I thought they were delicious. So I didn't care until they sold me or served me rotten food. And then that was it. I vowed never to go again.
Okay, somebody just asked me if I had an interest in automatons. If you're not familiar with what an automaton is, it's essentially, it could be an early clockwork animatronic model. A very simple version of that would be like a wind-up bird that chirps, let's say. Europeans would do ones that actually could write and scroll, and it's an amazing amount of gears and science and technology that goes into them. Yes, I love those things. I would love to have a really good one at some point. I just don't come across them that often. The nicest collection of automatons I've ever seen was at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, and it was phenomenal. They had a mechanized monk that that was built, I think, in the 1400s or something. It was crazy, and it wound up and was clockwork. They had picture frames from the 17 or 1800s, and they were clockwork, and they had rotating wheels on the back that as they turned, as you wound it up over a period of 8 days or so, the image would change on the painting, and you'd have like a different sort of painting every day or two. Really, really neat. Zoltar is kind of an automaton, but he is not as mechanical as some of the newer ones. He's more digital, but he does move around. His hand moves, and his mouth opens and closes, and his eyes look around all dodgy. Like it's like this will be my crystal ball. I am Zoltar the Gypsy. I will read your fortune. Give Zoltar your money. I give you good fortune. Man is wise, but woman is wiser. If you want to be happy, have a happy wife. Now give me money. That's my Zoltar impression. I am Zoltar the Gypsy. Come, read your fortune. That's not trying to be a stereotype. That's actually how that thing sounds.
Yeah.
It sounded worse than it was. I am Zoltar. Look, I read it, and then he gives a little card out, and it's like, here's your lucky numbers, and it'll give you like usually a Confucius type saying of one walks upon water when one is on a water boat. And I don't know, it says weird stuff. You're like, I don't know what to take from that. And then your friend standing next to you is like, it means you're gonna go to the beach. And they're like, no, it means that you're contemplating life at too high of a level and you come back down to earth. Anyway, it means whatever you want to mean. But a lot of people come in just to get their fortune told at my Zoltar. But yes, long story short, I do like automatons. And in fact, I'd really like to get some really old ones. And actually, if I could, I would collect that kind of. If I had all the money in the world and I knew that everything was paid off, I would go get myself a fancy automaton, like a really nice old one.
Where are we gonna put that? Like it for the store?
I would
Just
put it
at
in the
our
kids'
table?
bed when they're about to go to bed. I'd be like, "Get in your room. It's 10 minutes past your bedtime." And they'd be like, "Okay, Dad." And meanwhile, when they go to their room, "Wah, it is time for bed. I am Zoltar the Gypsy." And they'd be like this, and that'd be Steven. He'd be like, "I hate automatons."
His head shot up so fast. Hey!
It's not very nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so now Steven's not liking it. He's taking his eagle picture. He's going to put it somewhere safe.
I'm gonna go put it on top of that piano.
Oh,
We showed everybody, Steven.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
yeah, we did. It's awesome.
it is awesome. He's like holding it off.
We're being
like,
proud of
yeah,
our kid.
It is awesome.
Anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys watching along with us today. To recap, we have tenants going to sign a lease with us tomorrow for our space. And I am so excited to have a lovely family in there that's going to make it their own, to see that look on their face. There's something about being in a space that becomes your own and knowing that it could become whatever you want it to be. And having a feeling of unlimited possibility is something that I wish everybody gets to feel multiple times in their lives. That feeling of creativity and unbridled possibility. It's what I live for, and it's what I seek out. And I hope that... I really hope that you guys have that feeling every day that you can. anyway, have a wonderful night, guys, and thanks so much for visiting with us for the last hour and a little bit. I will put a video out probably for tomorrow morning to show you some of the stuff that I found in the last couple days. And if you haven't yet, we have our auction up right now at Kastner Auctions is coming up for December 5th. Comic book auction is live right now at comicconnect.com. And Steven has his lovely eagle seeing artwork on eBay right now under our Curiosity Inc. page. So any money made by selling that little painting of Steven's goes directly to Steven. So you'll just make a kid happy anyway. So there you go, guys. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye for now.